What would you get if you spliced a space shooter with the current trends of hero shooters with classes, objective-based gameplay, and sets of abilities? Well, Eve Valkyrie Warzone has set out to do just that. This is a game that actually has been released for a while and used to be VR only, but is now moving to flat screen on PS4 and PC, and can be used with VR, but is also cross-platform. The game has also been completely reworked, making it a bit more streamlined in the way of it maybe even being a bit more like the hero shooters and modern class-based games we have now. So I want to apologize that my voice isn't 100%. I've been to Gamescom earlier the week and we checked out this game. It was an exclusive with loads of YouTubers over there, and I've also been at Insomnia in the UK, which is another games fair, over this weekend, and my voice has taken a real hit. Anyway, today I'm going to be just breaking down the game and what I saw in Gamescom, and talking about Warzone, which I saw down there. However, to break it all down and sort of bring it to light on how it sort of merges, so first of all, the game does have classes of ships, and it works a lot like other hero shooters in sort of classing them out. You've got your tanky heavy ships, you've got support ships, and some can heal, and some can also do other support things, like one can drain enemy shields, and I played one that could drop mines, like spider mines, and they either followed your allies if your allies went through the sort of minefield, or followed enemies and did damage, and with allies it healed them. There were also really fast interceptors with big burst but little defense, a lot like flanking classes or damage classes. There was even a set of a few sniper ships. But basically at the core of it, there's quite a few options for ships to synergize and to have different roles played within your teams. And I think that MOBA games and hero shooters have kind of streamlined what it means to be a team member when you have abilities in the mix, and they've added that in here too. Each of the ships you can pick from also has quite a unique design and silhouette, and sort of stands in for the characters, heroes, champions, other hero-based games have, rather than just simply having classes of ships and picking your loadouts. And each one has a default fire, so a main gun, usually 3 abilities, 1 or 2 defensive, 1 movement, 1 alt fire like a missile or a cannon or something, and some could use hyperspace dashes, and a lot could go just drop into hyperspace. Others had anti-lock-ons whenever you were locked onto with missiles, and weapons varied from beams, plasma balls, flak-like charges, sometimes a mix of plasma balls and lasers. And there were plenty of missiles too to explode across your screen, fast firing, guided, or not. Another similarity is that each of the ships has an ultimate ability, and you charge it up by getting scrap that enemies drop as they die. These abilities pretty much are an extremely powerful one-off ability, like those in MOBAs and hero shooters, plus like those games, they can be supportive or offensive. And to give a few examples I played, one could put shields on all allies in an area, just as like a supporting ultimate. Another one had an extremely powerful missile that basically just shot at one target. I don't think it fully killed them, but got pretty close, especially on the squishier ships. And another, on one of the snipers I played, made it so you no longer needed to charge your railgun, as before you had to charge it in power, and you could basically just fire it rapidly, which was quite interesting too. The game types we played too were objective based. One had the 2 teams fighting over capture points or satellites, and basically instead of having to sit on the point, you drop drones, and they shot a laser beam at the satellite and basically sapped the points, and the tactic was to go around and destroy the enemy drones and put down your own drones on the points. And it makes sense that this works this way, because in the hero shooters you can stand on the point and that's fine, the point's quite a small space and the whole map is flat, but when you've got the 3D environment of a space battle and you're a spaceship that can hurtle through the map very fast, it doesn't make much sense to be sticking around just basically hovering in one point. So this is where the drones come in, and that's why I reckon they've put them in there. The cool thing is, after this capture sort of phase, then you go on to attack, and basically what happens is there's 2 capital ships on either side, and both have shields up until one team has captured the satellites, and the satellites sap the enemy capital ship's shields, and then you go in for a bombing run and try and destroy all of the enemy ship's defenses. I think there's loads of like little parts all over the ship that you can destroy, and you're basically going in on a bombing run to try and take out. But these ships also fire back pretty hefty lasers, so you've got to be a little bit careful, and you don't really want to be going in alone. This game mode was definitely my favorite that we played at the event, although we only played 2 of the newer game modes that we saw. They said that also there was like a Death Star run style of game mode as well, although we didn't see that one. But I could see that working out, seeing as they've got all the laser setup and things. And for me, my favorite maps were where there were loads of frigates and things floating around the map and basically going in and out. They were like AI controlled, and the enemy capital ships were on either side, so there was kind of an AI element also engaging, and the map was ever moving. So when you go for these satellites as well, they're usually orbiting like a asteroid or in some wreckage, so you're fighting like ducking and diving and weaving around all of the wreckage, trying to destroy all the drones. And those were the most fun moments I think I had. There was another mode that we played which basically had like 2 ball type things that you had to capture, and basically worked like flags, so it was like a capture the flag, and you had to take it to the capital ships. But basically what I'm trying to outline is the objective nature of the game modes and how they pan out, and even the capture mode, the main mode, is sort of like a reimagining of what the capture points are in hero shooters, I guess, but working out for a space shooter or space sim. Now, we didn't get to see much more of the rest of the game, we're basically just playing lots of matches, but the VR did look very cool. It also has the loot boxes and customization that we see in newer games coming out now, and you can customize your pilot, although I'm not sure how often you see him, and customize your ships as well. Another thing we didn't really get to play around with was the PvE mode, but they said there was some sort of wave-based system in there that you could play cooperatively. The other thing that was kind of interesting, we didn't get to play around with much. There was like a skill system where we picked out certain skills to make parts of your ship better. It worked out a lot like the card system in Paladins, just giving you extra customization before you went into the match and played certain ships. So to wrap it all up in a spaceship style box, at the end of the day, the sort of hero shooter MOBA format isn't good or bad. It's something that can streamline things into something that is proven to work, but sometimes it does oversimplify things and doesn't quite pan out. Here I think it's the former. It gives the game a familiar structure, but first and foremost, the game is definitely a space shooter. The controls don't quite work out like an FPS like you'd imagine. There's quite a lot of movement and panning with your aim because of the way your ship turns. You can also roll up and down. It basically just controls a lot more like a space shooter. And there's definitely a bit more of a learning curve, especially if you're going from a shooter game going back to a space shooter, and something that I wasn't quite used to, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that great in the footage. I haven't really played space shooters since PlanetSide and Everspace, but I do very much love the whole battle feeling and the dogfighting, and especially in the maps where you're capturing and fighting against 2 capital ships, where ships are just going around, there's loads of explosions everywhere, and you feel like you're in a massive space battle. It just takes you back to thinking of all the sci-fi I watch. But I think it's both an attempt to bring EVE's universe that people normally don't have an easy way to get into, because EVE Online is very hard to get into and has a very hard learning curve and grind, to a very familiar setting with easy abilities, and you only have the skill jump to climb of being able to control your spaceship and to be able to pull off the maneuvers. So what does everybody else think about what they've seen? Has it piqued your interest, or do space shooters just not fly for you? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Joshino.